Hello everyone, my name is Marah, and today's case is about Anthonette Cayedito, who was only 9 years old when she went missing from Gallup, New Mexico in April of 1986. And just a quick reminder before I get started, that I try to do the very best research and get the most accurate information I can for every single case that I cover. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into Anthonette's case. Anthonette Christine Cayedito was born on December 25th of 1976 to her mom, Penny Cayedito, who is a member of the Navajo Nation, and to her father, Anthony Montoya, who is of Italian and Hispanic descent. She was also said to be very sweet and a very dependable young girl. She was in the 4th grade at Lincoln Elementary School and was a very good student. Her favorite color was purple, and she loved listening to Michael Jackson. By the time Anthonette was 6 years old, she was helping cook, clean, and also taking care of her younger sisters who are named Wendy and Sadie. Her youngest sister made the comment that she had a caregiver's heart. Anthonette was also very dedicated to her Bible study and to her religion. And in the year 1986, she was living with her mom, Penny, and her 2 younger sisters in Gallup, New Mexico. When on the evening of April 5th of 1986, Penny goes out with some friends to have some drinks. It said that her 3 daughters are left with a babysitter for that evening. And after her night out and spending some time with some friends, Penny arrives back home around midnight and sends the babysitter home for the night. The next morning, Penny wakes up around 7 a.m. and goes in to wake up the girls to go to Bible school. That's when her mom and her sisters realize that Anthonette is not in her room. It said that Penny then goes to some neighbors to ask if they've seen her daughter, and also that she starts searching around the neighborhood for her. She continued this search until 11 a.m., and when there still was no sign of her daughter, she ends up calling authorities. She tells them that she'd like to report her 9-year-old daughter as missing, but they tell her that she has to wait 8 hours before she can report her as missing. After there still is no sign of Anthonette, the police do join in on the search. And when there's no sign of her or where she could be, authorities believe then that she must have been kidnapped in the middle of the night. And while this was their theory, there was still no clues of what actually happened to her or where she was. Then, a year later, in 1987, a frantic call comes into Gallup Police Department. The dispatcher answers, and a girl says that she's in Albuquerque. Then the dispatcher is trying to ask her where in Albuquerque she is when she hears a man's voice say, "Who said you could use this phone?" Then this girl lets out a scream, and the phone call ends. There was a recording of this call, and police bring this to Penny. She said she did believe it was Anthonette, but she did not recognize the man's voice. And authorities did try to trace the call, but unfortunately they were not able to find out where it came from. Some did believe that this was possibly a hoax, just because of the fact that this person said that they were her and that they were in Albuquerque, but the call came into the Gallup County Police Department. Then after that, there was not any sign of what possibly happened to her. But in 1991, 5 years after Anthonette's disappearance, a waitress came forward, and she said that she had seen the pictures of what Anthonette possibly looked like in the age progressed pictures. She said that she believed that she had served Anthonette at the restaurant that she worked at. A man, a woman, and a young teenage girl had came in. She also said that all 3 of them had very unkempt appearances. While they were sitting there, this teenage girl dropped her silverware. And when the waitress went to pick it up for her, this teenage girl grabbed her hand. It said that this teenage girl did this a few times. And then the waitress would go try to pick them up, and then the girl would grab her hand. It said that the waitress didn't think that much about it until she was cleaning off their table. Because underneath the girl's plate, she found a napkin. And on this napkin, it said, "Please help me. Call the police." So at this point, there is 2 possible times that Anthonette was reaching out and trying to get help. And I guess that's just why it's so important that we are as aware as we can be of our surroundings and what's happening around us. Because what if this was Anthonette and she could have been helped that day? But a month after this happens, the authorities decide to re-interview all of the witnesses. One of the witnesses is her sister Wendy, who was only 5 at the time of her disappearance. But when they re-question her this time, she is 10 years old. And Wendy actually admits this time that she did witness her sister being taken. She said it was around 3 a.m. when there was a knock at their front door, and this person said, "It's Uncle Joe." That's when Anthonette opened the door, and Wendy said that 2 men grabbed her. Authorities then asked Wendy, "Why have you not come forward with this information before?" And she said she was too scared to come forward and that she was worried that she would be in trouble if she did. There also was actually an Uncle Joe. It was a man that was married to Penny's sister, but they were able to clear him. But since whoever had knocked that night had apparently known Uncle Joe or Uncle Joe's name, they do believe that it's somebody that was close to the family or that knew the family that was there and that had taken Anthonette. In 1992, Penny went and seen a Navajo medicine woman and asked her about where Anthonette is. This woman did a ceremony that is done in hopes of contacting the spirit of the missing person. This medicine woman said that Anthonette is alive and may have children of her own. Also that she is being held against her will somewhere in the southwestern United States. It was said after Anthonette went missing, her mom made a very expensive purchase. And with that being mentioned multiple times in my research, I seen the theory that a lot of people had was that they believe that Penny had sold her daughter. Which I'm not saying it's true or that it isn't, but it's just a possible theory. Another one is that these 2 men took her and sold her into sex trafficking. It said that a neighbor allegedly seen these 2 men driving off in an older model brown truck with New Mexico license plates. It said at a point that Penny did actually end up failing a polygraph test, and that they had wanted to question her more. But Penny passed away on April 18th of 1999, so they were not able to ask her any more questions. And Anthonette's dad passed away in 2012. This is the age progression of what Anthonette could have looked like at 42 years old. If Anthonette is alive today, she would have turned 46 years old on April 6th. Authorities do say they do not believe that she is alive today. But I want to hold out that hope that maybe eventually she'll be able to be found and be reunited with her sisters. But I want to hear your opinions. Do you think that her mom is responsible in her disappearance? Or who do you believe is responsible for her disappearance? If you know anything or have any other details, I'll link the number for the Gallup Police Department down below. I appreciate all of you for watching my videos, and I hope you will comment and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye.